Hi, morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning, everyone. Hi, this is Elaine over here from SUNUPYOGA. And this is Sunday morning, Singapore time, 10 a.m. Welcome. I hope you're awakened and having a coffee and watching our show in leisure. With me here is Edmund Pang, TCM physician. And today we're having being here for a very special occasion to share some TCM knowledge with you, which can apply right away. So they are free immune boosters. You don't have to purchase TCM cups. That means you don't have to step out the door, and you don't have to step out the door for purchase or for consultations either. So, Edmund, good morning to you. Yeah.
Hey, good
How are
morning.
you? How are
Hi,
you?
I'm fine.
Yeah. So at
Okay.
the beginning, we see you talking to your wife, right? How is she? Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing excellent now. Then she's pregnant, and
Ah,
I think this month, anytime, because now it's during this
anytime.
COVID time, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
try to minimize our hospital visits. But uh, okay, anytime she might be having the delivery, so I just want to be prep myself.
Wow, congratulations. I think
Okay.
she is in a bad situation, right? I mean, her husband, you, is a TCM physician to take care of her diet and her life.
Yeah, as long as I don't make her angry.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, that, yes. Sorry, it made me
So
laugh. All right.
that's also important, in part of our immune system. Whenever our emotions get
Oh,
haywire, it
uh-huh.
affects our immune system. I mean, that we'll go into that later.
Okay, great. Okay. Uh, I'll look forward to that. So, husband to be, sorry, father to be, and mother to be, look out for that. We're talking about
Hmm.
it. Okay, what are we
Yes.
starting with? We have a few tips to give away today, right? So, what are we
Hmm.
starting with? Yeah. Would you like to
Okay.
show the slides now, or how do you go?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because right now I
Mm.
have a lot of patients, or rather a lot of my friends, they are going to websites like iHerb,
Yeah.
then they, sorry, you can hear me, right?
Yeah,
So,
very well.
okay, so they go to iHerb, they got some, they delve into supplements, what's the best supplement to really boost our immune system and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, it's fine because
Uh,
you can really buy antioxidants online and they
mm,
really improve our immune system to a certain extent. But
mm,
if the next three tips I mean, the things that I'm going to say later, if you are not going to look into that,
mm.
I'm afraid your supplements might be absorbed like maybe 5 to 10% minimally. So you have to be really, really focus on the three tips that I'm going to share with you later. So
Oh,
the
wow.
first tip, right? Okay, the first tip,
Uh-huh.
before I even go into that, I'll
Yes.
show you one of the clinical study. So there's this
Mm.
164 men and women. They were
Uh-huh.
actually exposed to rhinovirus. This is one of the most common viral infection
Exposed to
agents.
virus.
Yes, can you imagine doing that? I mean, you just open your mouth, then all the COVID-19 comes into it. I mean, this is not COVID, so this rhinovirus, I mean, is one of the common cold. So the clinical study
Okay.
actually did that, and
Yeah.
they found that those who slept 5 to 6 hours or less than 7 hours, they are at a higher risk of developing the cold compared to those sleeping more than 7 hours per night. So what can we actually conclude from this is shorter sleep duration
Yeah.
is associated with increased susceptibility to common cold. So bottom line is, if you sleep less, your immune system is lower. So
Uh-huh.
you can actually get it that sleep is actually a very, very important factor for your immune system. It's
Okay.
not just the supplements that you get online or just some super food that you can search online. So actually this sleep is something that we have been doing since we are baby, but how are we actually optimizing our sleep to optimize our immune system in terms
Okay.
of TCM?
Right.
Uh, in terms of TCM, we have this meridian clock. We also have this circadian rhythm, or rather
Mm,
we call it biological clock in our
mm,
body. That's in
mm.
terms of medical science. But in terms of TCM, we have this meridian clock that usually most of us will sleep between 11 to 1 to 3 a.m. I mean, some
Mm.
might sleep at 10 p.m. 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. So this is the time period that we usually sleep in. Then we can see over at this chart, right? It's our gallbladder as well as our liver. So what are they
Mm,
associated with? They are
mm,
associated with our
mm,
digestion for the
mm,
bowel juices from the gallbladder, as well as our detoxification process throughout our body. So if we
mhm.
sleep past this time, right? Because gallbladder and liver, they are sister organs. That means they work hand in hand. So if we sleep past this period of time, our detoxification process actually is reduced. In the sense that our body don't really detox as much of the metabolic waste that we occur, or rather we accumulate throughout the entire day.
Can you say
Sometimes
that again? Sorry. So, what time shall we? By what time shall we be in bed and sleeping? Yeah.
ideally, right? Ideally before
Ideally.
11 p.m.
Okay. All
Before
right.
11
Okay.
p.m. But
Okay. Mm.
12 a.m. I would say is the max because it depends on what time you wake up in the morning as well. But ideally, you should be sleeping, regardless of what time you wake up in the morning. 11 p.m. That's the cutoff point.
Okay. And you say to sleep for about 7 hours. So we get up by about, is it 7 or 8? Or some people say, I love to sleep. So those people who love to sleep for 12 hours a day, is this a good news then? Yeah.
Okay. Actually, if we try sleeping 12 hours every day, right? I'm sure we
Uh,
wake up very groggy. We'll
uh-huh.
wake up with headaches and everything. So actually,
Okay.
I mean, clinical studies have shown 7 to 9 hours is the norm. But
Okay.
we also should listen to our own bodies. Like if it's time to wake up, I mean, when we open our eyes, like even if it's like 7 hours of sleep, and you don't feel tired,
Mm.
we don't try to cultivate this habit of snoozing. After 7 a.m., too early already. Today is Saturday, today is Sunday, I don't have to work. So I just continue to laze on the bed, like until 8, 9, 10. This is not a very good habit to cultivate. So that's
Okay.
why
So
I'll
it's
say that
about
once you
11
feel
to 11
11,
p.m. to 6
11
a.m.
p.m., yeah, 6 or 7, that's
Six
fine.
or seven. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So okay. So this is about sleep, right? Yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
apart from the sleeping hours, is there any advice that you would like to share with us? Yeah. Mm.
Okay, uh, so this is the part that we shared just now. So the time of sleeping is very important. The
Okay.
time of waking up is
Mm.
also very important because
Right.
it's not just the duration of the sleep hours.
Mm.
You can try to sleep at 3 a.m. You can wake up at 12 p.m. You might think that
Mm.
you have 9 hours of sleep, but I can tell you the feeling that you get from that as well, and you compare that to like maybe you sleep at 11 p.m. You wake up at 7 a.m. The freshness is totally different.
And is
Why?
it because
Uh,
of the liver and the gallbladder
yes, it's
meridian
because
that
of
you
this
mentioned
meridian
just
clock.
now, right? Yeah. Mm.
Yes, correct. It's
Okay.
because of this
Okay.
meridian clock, and our body actually produces hormones at different timing. So then, if we can adjust our sleeping timing towards how our body actually works, so you won't have the extra stress that you self-inflict on your body. And
Okay. All right.
so
Right.
this is actually related to uh, our external environment. There's this Chinese saying that says that 日出而作，日落而息. That means when
Meaning.
time is meaning when the sun is up, right, you start working.
Mm.
When the sun
Yeah.
is when the sun sets, then after that it's time to rest and sleep. So actually, our
So
circadian
it's
rhythm clock.
actually similar
Mm,
to the corporate concept, right? When they have shift around the whole world, different regions, they say um, work with the sun, right? Different region work according to the clock, according to the sun in their region, right? Yeah.
exactly. So we have
Okay.
to follow the external environment. We have a small little universe in us. We have our yin and yang. We have the bigger environment, the bigger mother nature, the bigger universe to work with. So we have to be in sync. We cannot work against the external environment because that will create stress in our body as well. So
Okay.
those who work
Right.
in during the nights, they are not so ideal for our body functions. Yeah.
Aha, the graveyard shift. Okay.
Yes, correct. I
Okay.
mean, sometimes yeah, I cannot help it, but then we can all try like, our best. So then, what to do before sleeping? This is also very important. This is the sleep hygiene that I think a lot of clinical studies have been trying to uh, point out clearly. Things like you shouldn't be exposed to blue light before you sleep. Things like your phone, your laptop, your television, and your
Hmm.
iPad. All these things, they are actually stimulating to the mind. So they are actually asking you to stay awake because you have some interesting news. Like for 2 weeks ago, the COVID-19, the 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 tally of every day, the patient count of every day, it comes out only at 10 p.m. plus. That everyone has been waiting through the night, just to wait for the news. Then after once they
Uh-huh.
got the news, then after that, they are excited, then they cannot sleep.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Wow. Yeah.
But,
I
but
mean, once
now,
you read the kind of news, yes, that's right.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I hear you. Okay. Yeah, such things that you don't do just before you sleep. And is
yes.
there like we're talking about, like free immune boosters. Is there anything else you can do to help us sleep better or not? Yeah.
Okay, so then if you still can't sleep
Mm.
well, there are a few
Mm.
points,
Okay.
acupoints on our body that
Yeah.
actually help us to sleep better. So there's this point, it's called Senmen. Senmen, okay,
Okay.
how do you find it? It's actually very simple. Uh, your you put your palm in front of you, then after that, you turn it
Okay.
backwards. So there's
Uh-huh.
this twist on your wristline on the outer side. Your pinky finger, finger all the way down. There's this
Yeah.
outside.
Okay.
Yes, this is called Senmen. There's this little crest, there's the 凹陷. There's this that can press onto it. Then when you press a little harder, you start to feel a little bit sore. So when you don't
What
really
does
use.
it feel like? It sinks inside, is it? There's a line that sinks inside, right?
Yes, correct. So
Okay.
then
Mm.
so you don't use your fingernail. You just use the fleshy part of your thumb. Then after you
Okay.
just press onto that point and then go in
Okay.
circles. Go in
Mm.
circles. So
Go in circles for
yes,
I see.
it can be
Uh,
clockwise, anti-clockwise, anything up to you.
and how
So
many times or for how many minutes? Yeah.
okay, so I would say that we can actually press onto it together with synchronizing our breathing as well. So when we inhale, right? Okay, when we
Mm.
inhale, then
Mm.
after that we go we go in slowly. In slow motion,
Mm.
clockwise direction. Maybe
Okay.
1, 2, 3 times. Then as we exhale, we go
Mm.
anti-clockwise. Maybe 3 times as well, depending on how deep you breathe in and out. Yes. So
Inhale,
mhm,
inhale clockwise.
exhale
Exhale.
anti-clockwise.
Inhale three times. Then exhale. In one exhale, you do
Do three
anti-clockwise
times.
three
Yes,
times.
correct.
And in
Yes.
this pattern, this step pattern, how many times or how many minutes do we do? Yeah.
Okay, we can do like for 10 breaths.
Uh-huh.
So it's around 30 times in total, clockwise, 30 times in total for anti-clockwise. So then we can do that maybe half an hour or 15 minutes before we sleep if we know that we have trouble sleeping.
Okay.
When we
Half an
have,
hour, to be honest, sounds a bit long for some people. So if it's 15 minutes enough? And actually, I can imagine some people would say it's 5 minutes enough. Yeah. Mm.
no, it's just 10 breaths. So that means how long you take to inhale and exhale 10 times, that's the frequency that you have to do. It's just that the time that you do this, right, is 15 minutes before you sleep.
Oh, that's what you mean. So,
Ah,
so one breath is one inhale and one exhale is equivalent to one breath, right? So
yes,
you do it
correct.
10 times, right? And in
Mm,
one breath, you do 3 rounds clockwise. And in the
mm,
other exhale, you do 3 rounds
3 times. Okay.
anti-clockwise. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, got it. Okay, I see. Not 30 minutes. Okay, got it. Okay, that's more
So
practical. I can do
one
it.
point to
Okay.
really,
Mm.
really take note is we have to do this before we even go to sleep. Why? Is
Ah,
because when you have been tossing here and there for like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, you
yeah.
will be very, very frustrated
Okay.
at that moment. You won't have
Uh-huh.
the patience to really do this. So of course you can still do it, but then it will be more ideal to do it before even you go to bed.
about 15 to 30 minutes before you go to bed.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this
I'm going to
actually,
try it tonight. Actually, it feels very comfortable, very soothing when you press this, at this pressure point over here. Yeah.
mm,
Those of you who are watching with us now, Facebook Live or yeah, try it. It's very soothing. Yeah. Mm.
yes, so this is the segment. So I go into the next point.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So other than sleep, there's this
Okay. I'm going to show us back here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Removing the
okay.
slide. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there's another thing that is very important to all of us in this time of COVID is what are we going to eat, to
Okay.
improve our immune system.
Yeah.
But before even we go to what kind of foods, superfoods to take in or what kind of supplements to take in, we have to
Um,
really be mindful of
Hi.
our
I'm
diet plan.
sorry, Edmund. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I think we're coming into a very interesting topic, and when it talks about food, I'm going to sit up and listen to you. What I would just like to share with you is that maybe you can make this a little bit faster because I think some people are going to go out for supermarket after
Oh,
this
okay.
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Okay. So,
Yeah. No, not at all.
um,
Yeah. I hope the audience will come after me later. They may want more, but I'm just thinking of those people who want to go to supermarket. Yeah. Mm.
okay, so
Yeah.
I'll speed up later. So in nutrition science, they focus a lot on the carbs, the protein, the fats, the vitamins and minerals. But then in terms
Yeah.
of TCM, we focus a lot on the energetic property of our foods. So there's this cool, warm, and hot property of every single food. I mean, they belong to one of the category.
Okay.
So it depends on our body constitution. There are some of us we can take in a lot of chili, but then we are still fine. Some of us
Okay.
taking a little chili, then after the next day we got ulcer or we got sore throat.
All right.
It's because of our own body constitution. So we have to take in food that are more ideally to our body constitution. So I mean, this one you have to go through a diagnosis by a DCM
Yes.
physician, but
Yes. Yeah.
you can roughly know that because I mean there are people who can take in chili, feel okay, chili, then some will take a little, then sore throat as I mentioned just now. So then you'll know that okay, if you can take in a lot of chili, you belong to the cold and cool body constitution, then vice versa. So the main point that I want to bring up is what you eat actually affects your immune system. Whereas there's no single food that will upgrade your immune system, poor nutrition can actually have a negative effect on the immune system. This is what we have
Mm-hmm.
been reading on the internet. Like we have to be very careful and be very mindful of what we are eating. But in terms of TCM, there are some other points that we are actually very concerned about, and which is the time of eating. Sometimes we might be taking our dinner late at night, like maybe 9 p.m., our lunch at maybe like 3 p.m., our breakfast at 11 a.m. So we call it brunch. So I would say that it would be more ideal if we take our 3 meals within the ideal meal times, which is 11 to 1 for lunch, 5 to
Okay.
7 for dinner.
And
Of course,
breakfast?
breakfast is, I mean, when the time you wake up, then after that, 1 to 2 hours after the time you wake up. So,
So
of course,
let's say assuming you wake up at 7, so between let's say
7 to
7
9.
to 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Okay.
Of course,
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
working time, I mean,
Mm.
during work days, we might be a little, I mean, it might be a little difficult to accommodate to this timing. So we try our best.
Okay.
So,
All
uh,
right. Okay.
secondly, is the speed of eating. In army, we have been trained to pour our soups into our rice and just swallow everything. That's because of the time constraint. But now, if we are, because a lot of times we have been eating on the go, that or we tap out our food back, then after that we just double everything up, then start working. So it's not so ideal for our digestive system because we're not talking about 1 or 2 days, we're talking about a year, 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. It can be quite damaging to our digestive system as well. So the speed of eating is very important. So ideally, I
Any
mean,
advice? Yeah. Mm.
each mouthful of food they take
Mm.
in. I mean, in
Mm.
terms of TCM, we have to chew. It. I mean, try to. I mean, about 81 times. But it's difficult. It's difficult to do that. So
Yes.
then, as long
Yeah.
as we chew our food, we take time to chew. We
Mm.
have we have to listen to our body. I mean, once we feel that, I mean, it's nicely chewed as well, then after that, then we can swallow. It's not like, just a few times, then we swallow, then swallow. So it's
That is
actually,
3 times, so more than that. Okay, so it should be
yeah,
more than. Okay,
right.
so you have to be mindful and feel how much whether the food is properly chewed before you swallow. Although you may not reach 81, because I can't imagine myself chewing for 81 times either.
Me too. So that, I mean, that's what in the books lah. So then
Okay.
there's one point that we can
Yes.
actually press on our body to help to
Okay.
improve our digestion.
Okay.
Okay,
So
because
I'm
this
going
is
to go on this slide for you. All right.
okay
Okay. So
because
can we go, maybe go on to the acupressure point there?
yes, yeah, the acupoint is on our legs, so I
Yeah.
couldn't be showing my hairy legs to you. So then okay, so let's picture.
Well, next time when your baby is born, maybe you can ask your baby to be the model. But before
Oh
that,
yes, sure.
yeah.
Okay, so we can look into this point. This point is called Zhu San Li. This is one of the more famous points that, I mean, that's usually described in other TCM advertisements as well. So okay, how do we find that? So below our patella bone, which is our kneecaps, there's this underneath. I mean, the lower part of the kneecap, we
Yeah.
place 4 fingers
4 fingers.
below
Okay.
the kneecap.
Okay.
Then our last pinky finger will be feeling one quite, I mean, a bigger bone. That's the tibial bone. Can you feel it?
Four
That
fingers and then the
the,
tibia bone.
the
Yes.
yes, the
Yeah.
tibial bone.
Mm.
Okay, so to the outside of that bone, I mean, you place 1 finger, and that's the point. So I mean, okay, this is a bit challenging. So below the kneecap, 4 fingers. Then towards the outside, one more finger, one more finger's length. I
Hang
mean,
on.
this
You're
is
talking about excluding the thumb, right? Yeah.
yeah, excluding the thumb, correct? Four
So
fingers
four
down.
fingers down below the patella, that means the
Mm,
kneecap. Okay.
mm.
And then
Then there's
the
the
pinky
tibia bone.
finger. What
Mm.
about? Yeah.
Then you put one more finger here. That is the point outside.
Put one
Towards
more finger. Put one more finger.
yes. So okay, there's this tibial bone. That's the thicker bone.
Yeah.
Yes. So towards the outside,
Mm.
roughly around 1 finger's length. That's the point. So when you press onto it, right, it's a
So
bit
it's a
soft.
soft descent there. It's a soft descent there, right?
Yes,
Soft.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
All right. Okay. Okay.
So we can look into this picture as well. It's around here. That's the outer side.
And what do we do there? Yeah. Mm.
Okay, same thing as well. With the same instructions that I mentioned just now. So when you
Oh, the
inhale three
same.
times,
Okay.
yes, exhale 3 times. So you
And it's
can
the
press
same
on.
like for 10 breath, right? Okay. And when
Yes.
do we do this? Yeah.
We do
This
this when we are watching our TV, when we are sitting down on the computer,
really.
whenever that you feel that okay, you need a break from the work they are doing, or during advertisements, during the television programs, you can just lift up your leg and just press onto that point.
Which leg? The right leg or the left leg? Or is it
Okay, both
necessary to
legs,
do
both
both
legs.
legs? Okay.
Yes,
So we
correct.
need to balance, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
do 10 breath on the left, I need to do 10 breath on the right. Is that how it
Yeah.
works? Like yoga,
Yes,
we are
correct.
talking about balancing, right? I mean, this
Exactly.
is interesting because in our society, I mean, people tend to have digestion issues because of stress. Okay, I mean, this is from
Mm-hmm.
the yoga perspective, okay, of psychosomatic disease, right? The mind brings about the stress in the body. So when you press on these two sunli in this manner, um, would it help with, let's say, people who have gastric issue? I mean, some can be very severe, or some people have constipation issue or IBS. Would this help? No? Yeah.
Even diarrhea, yes, whatever that you mentioned, they are actually helpful to it, because this is one of the points that we actually we do acupuncture treatment on if you have like constipation, IBS, or even gastritis. So
So
this is
you're
one of
saying
the
on
points.
both sides, both the IBS and on the other side, the constipation, both of these we can apply this Zhusanli acupressure point.
Yes, because in TCM it's more of regulation. It's not to like increase or decrease. It's a
Oh
regulation, bring it
wow.
back to the optimal level.
Okay, this is really something very good to know. If you're
Uh,
watching this to the audience I'm speaking to, okay, right, let me take away this slide over here. Now, to the audience, if you are watching this video, right, I think Edmund just shared with us a very precious, like technique over here, pressing on the Zhu San Li below the patella, that means the kneecap, right? It's regulation. It's not, it's not only for people with IBS or it's not for people with just constipation. It's for different kind of conditions of digestive issue. Very
Mm.
precious. Thank you so much, Edmund. And
Uh,
okay, shall we move on? Yeah.
okay, we move on. So the last point that
Yes.
I'm going to share is how
Yeah.
we actually manage our this thing called stress. So before I go into that, there's another clinical study that shown that same thing, 100 over men and women that are exposed to the rhinovirus, and you know what they found that they actually found that people reported less stress in their lives are actually less likely to develop cold symptoms. So stress is also another a direct factor to influence our immune system. In another
Okay.
study as well, at the bottom part, so
Mm.
researchers have found that people who discuss pleasant topics and people discuss more stressful topics. And when small little wounds are actually inflicted on their arm, those who discuss something more stress, they
Mm.
actually take a day longer to heal compared to those who discuss something more pleasant.
And these, I think these researchers that you mentioned, right? They are deposited, they are published on very well established and reputable medical websites, right? Yeah.
Medical journals, yeah.
Yes, that's right. The National
Yes.
Institute of Health journals that's recognized by US and the world as well.
Mm.
Okay.
So
So very
it's
interesting.
very
And how does this connect to what we said earlier about, like husband and wife relationship, father and mother to be? Yeah. Mm.
because it's very important because husband can be the best medicine for the wife. He can also be the best poison to the wife.
Yeah. Okay. You tell me.
so,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
so actually because harmony within the family is very important, and if you know because it influences the kid that is growing up as well. So the entire synergy of the family is very important to the health of the family. This is very important. So that's why I say that stress is one of the major factors to influence the entire family's influence immune system. So as well as we go into the stress part, so
Okay.
stress
Okay.
is the I mean stress actually reduces the body's ability to fight off antigens. So that I mean this causes us to be more susceptible to infections.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so
Right.
I mean, in terms of medical science, we have this parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. To put it
Mm.
short, it means
Mm.
a stress mode as well as a resting mode. You know,
Okay.
when we go to work, when we are preparing for exams, when we are
Um.
preparing to give a presentation, okay,
Yeah.
our body might be more primed up to be functioning better. The
Uh
extra
huh.
boost the extra boost is actually given by our hormone called the cortisol. This is a stress hormone. In short term, it's actually beneficial to us. But let's say if
Mm.
we have stress chronically, you know,
Mm.
since the time we wake up in the morning, we take out our
Uh,
phone, we check our emails. Okay, we start to get stressed. Then after we go to the MRT, you know, we get squeezed into the MRT trains. Then after that, someone step onto our leg. Then after we
okay.
get
And so
angry.
on. Yeah. And so
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
all the way.
Mm.
Then after that,
Yeah.
then since I mean during work, and then after you come back to house, come back to home.
Okay. So
After
there's a
this,
continuous stress level. I mean, with the release of the
exactly.
cortisol there. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So then this
Yeah.
is I mean for long term, right? This is
Yeah.
actually not beneficial to our body because
Mm.
cortisol is produced at the expense of other vital hormones such as progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. So that's why this actually also
Mm.
regulate our entire body's hormonal system as well, and this
Okay.
actually causes have a negative impact lah on our immune system. So there's this
Mm.
one. Sorry, I mean, yeah, can't you? Okay, so there's this one breathing technique that we can all actually use during our daily lifestyle. This is called Nadi
Oh,
Shodhana. So Nadi
this
Shodhana,
is yoga. This
this
is
is
yoga.
yoga. Yeah, and
Oh,
because
okay.
I
That's interesting.
study a little on Ayurveda as well. They emphasize a lot on Nadi Shodhana. This is a balance. This to bring our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system into equilibrium,
Okay.
which is one of the main aspects of TCM, which I mentioned just now.
How is
That
that? How?
we need
Mm.
to bring back our metabolic processes through regulation. You know, it's not to improve or to deprove. I mean, it's not to increase our immune system or to decrease our immune system. We have to bring it back to the equilibrium state. In yoga, it refers to the sun and moon, which I'll share
Yeah.
later. Then after
Yeah.
that, in medical science, is the parasympathetic and nervous system, parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system for TCM,
And
yin and
mm-hmm.
yang.
Mm.
We're trying to balance between all these three. So actually, all the three medicines they actually refer to the same thing. It's the same equilibrium, so that our body can actually function.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So
Right.
okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
before that, okay, so I'll be sharing with you how to do this Nadi Shodhana. Actually, it's very simple. We can open up our fingers, okay,
Yeah.
this way. So we
Yes.
curl our index finger and middle finger. So our thumb and our ring finger, put
Uh,
our right arm on our right nostril. We
yeah.
press it in, we close it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then we breathe in through our left nostril, we
Yeah.
inhale,
Uh,
we close our left nostril,
uh-huh.
open up our right nostril, and we
Uh,
exhale. So right
yes.
out,
Yeah.
and then we inhale from our right nostril, and we close up, we open up our left nostril, and we exhale.
Correct.
This is
Okay.
one
All right.
cycle of Nadi.
Okay.
So,
This is actually what yoga teaches in terms of balancing the sun and the moon, the Ida and the Pingala. Okay, which is
mm,
how it balances our body, the alternate nostril breathing, the physical body, and the whole breathing system, the pranayama as well. But it's very interesting to hear from you as a TCM physician, Edmund, that this actually is equivalent to managing the yin and yang in the body.
yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Mm.
So this is what I usually teach my patients as well, because it is very very important to
Mm.
actually achieve a balance in our breathing throughout our entire day, so that our body is not so overly affected by the stress that we face every day.
Right.
There's even clinical studies that show that they improve the heart rate, the blood pressure of volunteers who tried the modified breathing.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Yes. And then you see the sign there on the top right, right, where you talk about the yin and the yang, the life and the work. We have to kind of like match into each other, right?
Yes,
I really love this symbol. It really explains everything about how we to live our life and how we exist with other human beings or living beings and with the nature as well. Yeah.
yes,
I
correct.
think this is very precious, Edmund. I love what you're sharing with us today. Looking at third one, especially, explain it from the medical science point of view, from the yoga point of view, and from TCM point of view. In fact, we're teaching the same thing. We're just different, using different kind of terminologies to explain it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Edmund. Okay, all right. I really appreciate your time with us today. Can we quickly summarize the three tips, okay, for our audience here about what it is today? First thing about sleep. What is the acupressure point to apply there? Yeah.
Okay.
Never
So
mind
okay.
about the slide. Okay, just yeah.
Okay.
Never
So
mind
the
about
first.
the slide. Yeah.
Okay. So the first slide. I mean the first acupoint. This is the
Yeah.
sun one. Yes, here.
Okay. All
Bend your
right.
hand backwards, and here. This is the crest here. Sun
Okay,
one.
and
Mm,
thank you. Thanks for the reminder. It
mm.
is so good. Second one would be about the diet, which be I know you can't show your leg. Okay, just mention it. Yeah.
Okay, so four fingers down your patella bone, which is your kneecap. Then after that, one more finger out towards the outside of your tibial bone. Then after you press
Okay.
onto that area, you should be a bit sore. That's the Zusan part.
All right. Okay. Great. Great. And then thanks for that. I love these 2 points. And the third one for
The
the this will
Nadi
help in the stress management. You're saying and relationship management with your partner as well. And I
Yes,
believe
definitely.
as well will be the
Mm.
which is the which
Sorry.
one is that? The third one. Yeah, the
Okay,
third
the
one.
third one that I mean for the stress management,
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
can do is the Nadi Shodhana, sit down with the hands like that.
Ah,
So left
okay.
in, so the in out thing.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, everyone. We wish you. This is Elaine here with Edmund. Once again, I want to thank Edmund for being so spontaneous and joining me on this wonderful Sunday morning. I know his wife is watching as well, so thank you to his wife Jia Wen for being so supportive of him on a weekend. Okay, all right, and Edmund and myself we wish you a merry, happy supermarket shopping and bring our IC if you need to.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, Edmund. Okay,
Thank you.
cheers. Bye,
Mm.
everyone.
Bye.